Welcome to episode 3 of If They Won't Listen. What's going on, guys?
Another day in
Well,
paradise.
we started the recording and then you fucked it up.
I did. We're gonna move past it though. Editing is awesome.
That's that's
Um,
the perfect way to start a Sunday.
Yeah.
and this is a lot of work for me too. You know what I mean? Waking up and you know what I mean. I do a little cleaning on the apartment, and then like this morning, I'm going to work. Freaking like the minute I finish this, I'm leaving. No spare time. So
I didn't even get a chance to read all the text. Did you get called in or what's the deal there?
no, that's my schedule. I was in at 10:30
Uh,
yesterday. And I worked all the way until uh,
word.
9 p.m. And then I'm in at 10:30 today, and I'm gonna work the whole shift and probably close today because I got the next 2 days off. I haven't had 2 days off since Corona started, so I'm I'm enjoying it. Gives me more time to work on this shit, a lot more time with my daughter, more time with Bree. So I'm happy about it. So, are you guys fully aware that like the goddamn riots and shit daily have their own vein of info, like daily on Reddit you can find videos of shit, and ever since I don't know, at least 30 days ago to be sure, every day is a new day of videos and a new, and like I'm learning the neighborhood. I've seen angles from so many parts of these mobs. I'm not even fucking with you. So shit is still crazy, and I haven't been watching the news at all, but there's I don't well, correction. I'm aware of some recent events, but I don't believe any news source is remotely non-biased to having angles in how they speak. And even I have angles in how I speak. They're the open table angles we cannot talk about, not the subtle ones I try to sneak by you. So
So your sort of your way of getting news is Reddit
my way of getting news
a
is
little bit.
is seeing it, seeing the video, and if I see the video from 12 different civilians throughout their day, some were on a high rise, some were on the ground, and some were around, that is an unbiased opinion. The only bias is me, the way I filter it. But my grandparents were cops, and not that that has anything prominent to do with it, but I can view things pretty well and organized, and you know what I mean. You focus. I don't think it's rocket science. You just focus on the bullshit in the mob that you saw the first time, but from each different video. And yeah, no. Once I see a video from 12 different angles, I'm pretty sure I knew what was going on. And then I go fucking around. I type in that date and I look at the fucking news headlines, and they're always way off. Like I got in a huge fight with one of the coworkers I disagree with, but utterly respect at work, and it was over the whole kid who drove 2 states. So I don't know anything about this, so I'm surely not an expert. And if I'm wrong, I don't care. Um, so the kid had an AR-15, and he was like 17, and how he got it is irrelevant. I believe he bought it
Oh,
though,
okay.
and
I know. Yeah.
yeah, so whatever. He drove 2 states. And now it comes down to a thing Socrates did, where he would tell you a sentence, and then he would ask you 77 sentences about that sentence until you were so unsure about that first sentence that you could really think about it critically. Because does context matter? You know what I mean? Does it? Does context matter? And that's the real nitty gritty question, because what you do per second changes, but what led up to that? Like if you're allowed to say, well, I was angry, or I was sad, or I was mad, or anything, you start coming into like a slippery slope fallacy where you can just, it can go forever, like that, it'll never end. And so I think context does matter, but I think the fact that context matters makes circumstantial evidence very hard, because the circumstance was contextual, and my circumstance was different than yours and the other guys, and that's a whole circle around it. But what I saw, like the coworker who disagreed with me said, and I'm paraphrasing, uh, just ridiculous use of a firearm driving states away to shoot people. I never thought that at all, because he fired less than 5 rounds. He hit every shot he fucking fired. I believe he shot 3 times. And he did kill people. But I'm just saying, he's in a mob with an AR. And he was walking around or whatever, and people started attacking him. Attacking a guy with a fucking AR. And laws or not, whether he was allowed to have the gun, whether he was allowed to have the heroin, whether he was allowed to be, in the souped up car that's way too strong for the road, he was at this point. And so context and circumstance, how he got there, don't matter. What does matter is people are attacking him. One guy came at him and tried to jump on top of him and kill him. And as he fell down to the ground on his back with a crowd of people closing in, he scoped on the guy's face and ended his life. Gone. The one guy who was perpetrating him, not the whole mob. So that was an instance of saving his life in the worst moment of fear, regardless of the context of loss. Then he stands up and he shuffles a bit, and there's another instance of a person attacking him, and he shoots that person. And I do believe he killed 2 people. And so I believe the 2 people who were attacking him the most critically, he instantly killed. The first guy was a headshot. He was on his back, on the ground, looking up at a 45. And the other one, I believe he was on his feet, and he shot the guy in the chest. So now he chose the less aggressive option here for the second guy. Not promoting it, but I'm just saying, yet again, he's in a mob of people. He could be just unloading on everyone. He has shot the 2 people who aggressed him. Okay? To my decree. And the third one was from a video that you can find online, was a guy pulling a gun on him. And none of the media is talking about this. The third guy he shot in the bicep had a gun and was pulling a gun to shoot this guy. Because from this other guy's view with the handgun, he sees a guy killing people. He's doing the right thing. The dude with the handgun would have been me. An innocent bystander walking by, and if I had a Glock or whatever, and I had the right to carry, or even regardless if I didn't, and someone's killing people, I shoot. Mid pulling the gun from the video, he shoots the guy in the bicep.
Okay,
Like a movie shot.
So here's the thing with the context does matter, and this all reminds me of, I just had to look it up to get the names correct, but I don't know if you guys know about Michael Dunn shooting Jordan Davis. It's a really old case, but there's a lot of footage that's publicly available, including the interrogation. So it's a pretty big case in the true crime community. And it was this guy who was at a gas station, and there are these kids there that were playing their music too loud. And he claims to have heard one of the kids say, "I'm gonna fucking kill you." So this dude pulls a pistol out of his glove box and starts firing at this car because he said he saw a shotgun. Right?
Okay.
And in the interrogation, he goes on to basically be like, "Oh, was there a stick or something like that? Did they maybe have a stick that could have looked like a shotgun?" And basically what I'm getting at is he was the kind of guy that had a gun. His buddy that I guess was in the military taught him how to use it, which he was very proud of. And he's the kind of guy looking for something to shoot at.
And I'm with you, and that's not this kid. And I'm telling you that. And I can tell you that by context. He had 30 rounds. He only shot the people who were going to take his life. And,
Well,
and
why
I have
would
to
he go
say,
there with an assault rifle?
you say why you go there, dude. I don't know. There's something billion people in the world. Do you understand 5 of them? 10 of them? 3 of them? No, I don't understand anyone.
Well,
Y'all
no,
are all
but-
crazy.
But why would
and
you?
that's my point. So
why would you put
why-
yourself in a situation
none of
where
that
you know
matters,
you're going to
though.
need an assault rifle?
The person who disagreed with me said the same thing. And I hate to say it, but that's coming from a non-gun owner personal perspective. Like, I've never met a person who's owned a gun and been responsible with a gun who's wondered why someone had a gun. But I've met tons of people,
How do
like
you
my
know I don't
coworker
have
who
a gun?
disagreed with. Because you just said that sentence. And maybe you do, but you're not, it's not in your holster. And you're not aware that if you're in danger, you can protect yourself. Because I want to be a pacifist. I do. I don't want to carry a gun. I don't want to carry a knife. I don't want to carry a beating stick. I want the whole world to love each other. But that's unfucking realistic. That'll get me and my family hurt if I'm ignorant to believe that. And
Yeah,
so
but
because of that,
if I go to Detroit and I start walking down the street and I fucking pull out a pistol, eventually
100%
there's gonna be someone shooting at me, and then I'll then have a reason to shoot
But
at
that's
them.
100% different. 100% different. Because your angle makes you biased to not believe this kid's perspective is innocent. And I do. I believe that maybe he had a hero complex. He just got done watching the Marvel series.
That's exactly
no,
what I'm
pause.
saying.
I
is
let
like-
you talk. No, he has a hero complex, so because of that, he's gonna go there and protect people. How do you know that he didn't kill the three most aggressive people there who would have killed other people? You don't. I don't. Implausible. Not unplausible. I'm retarded. Implausible. I'm aware. But in this world of butterfly effecty, crazy 010101 shit, we have to allow the extreme to be on the table. And the extreme could be, is all I'm saying, a kid who illegally obtained a gun after seeing a Reddit video. Look at, I'm going to make a quick 10-second sidebar. The American Sniper, the one who was played by the guy in The Hangover, in the beginning of that movie, he was inspired to join the military by seeing the Twin Towers blow up. Now, I know I'm making a big leap here, but I'm just saying, this kid could have seen a 9/11 history video, gotten all-American, and grabbed his dad's fucking AR and said, dude, I've seen 100 videos on Reddit of innocent people getting hurt and they couldn't defend themselves because guns are illegal in that state. Even if I go to jail, I'm gonna go protect them. I didn't just condone any of that, but I am saying that to say that, oh, he took the gun and he went there to hurt people. I think he went there to protect people. And now how is that not the same sentence? Because it's the opposite sentence. But he didn't shoot the whole mag and he didn't shoot innocent people. He only shot aggressive people who aggressed towards him, and he landed his shots. If the third guy did have a gun or didn't have a gun, I believe he did, because he shot one guy in the head because he was on his back and about to literally maybe have no gun and be dead from his own gun, because most people who have a gun get shot by it. The second guy, he didn't shoot him in the head. He was less aggressive, direct center mass to not hit anyone else in the chest. And the third guy, not head, not chest, not a kill shot, which he's done two of, he shoots him in the bicep when he's doing something in a video that looks like pulling a gun. So all I'm saying is 3 shots, 2 people whose families I'm very sorry for, because I wish no one died. But I'm just saying that this kid's probably going to go to jail, and he deserves that. But he does not need to go to jail for murder 1, for going to kill people. He wasn't unloading on a car because he thought he saw a shotgun. That was different. He was on his back on the ground holding an AR, and someone was coming down on him about to teach him the goodnight punch or kick to the face. And he looked up at him and went, click, once. He had 30. He could have, He didn't Scarface. Once. Click. And that's all I'm saying is he showed restraint, he showed proper gun tactics, and he showed care for mobs that were possibly going to hurt him too. If I was in a mob and one dude's attacking me, everyone around me looks like people I could shoot too.
Okay,
I could have just closed my eyes.
Let me put out there.
Yeah, it's all
just
you.
a little-
That's my whole
You're
soapbox.
just a little. I don't know what you want to call it. A little scenario. Let's say that there was a group of people, and you know that group of people is going to gather, and there's going to be 2 groups of people. Let's say we know that there are 2 groups of people. And you're like, you know what? I really like this one group of people. But it's gonna get very dangerous, and people are gonna start shooting at each other. I want to go because I stand with this group of people.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say the Reds. I stand with the Reds. I'm on the red side. So I'm gonna go.
Let's go purple and pink before you lay out an actual war.
Okay. I think you see where
So
I'm.
the pinks
I think
don't
you
like the
see where I'm
purples.
going with this.
I'm with you 100%. Yeah, no, I
With the
get it.
colors. So sure, let's say you like the purple guys. So you go and you bring your assault rifle. Could have stayed home. Could have stayed home. Could have done a million other things to get whatever message out there you want to get out there. But you decide, okay, there's a war going on. I want to go and let's say protect the purple guys. He doesn't know the purple guys.
Mm-hmm.
He just knows that the purple guys are
100%.
there. And he just knows that he likes the general message of the purple guys.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way the government
So-
works. You don't live in an area that you can actually support, like, the political people you're around. They come to your state and stand on a little wooden box for an hour and wave. But outside of that, like, you don't get to be around them, but you support them.
Well-
Sports teams, you're not in their place,
Well,
but you support them.
The
The military
point
supports
the point
you.
I'm
They
trying
don't
to
know you.
make is that, I mean, yeah, he was defending himself, but he decided to join
He
an
went there with a
unsanctioned
gun,
war,
like,
right?
yeah,
Knowing
no,
that he's going to have to
he
use an
almost
assault rifle to
100%.
shoot someone in the head. He knew he was going to have to do that because he wouldn't bring the assault rifle.
very well,
otherwise.
quite possibly.
So
I believe him being a pacifist was love, and I've already said a
Yeah.
shitload, and you've laid your point out. So, Chris, please, where's your side on this? Do you believe in my insanity and lunacy, or are you siding with Dante's approach?
I'm siding with ethics. For one.
Ethics and guns.
Okay.
We love this in America.
No, it's got nothing to do with the guns. It has to do with, simple, and I know you and I have had this conversation before. Serial killer and nun. They're both hearing God's voice in their head telling them to do things. A serial killer is killing people that are sinners. The nun is living a very pious life, locked away somewhere, and really doesn't even talk to anybody, just gave her whole being, everything that she is, to God. I personally think they're both batshit crazy. Straight up. But
Amen.
they both think that they're doing the right thing, morally speaking, because the nun is, giving her life to God, and the serial killer is doing the same thing and doing God's work by taking out sinners. So,
No, I
as
respect
far
that.
as that part of it goes, it's who are we to say, yeah, morally speaking, generally speaking, these are bad things. You go into a crowded spot with an AR and just shoot people in the head. All right, but again, he only killed 2 out of the 3 people he shot. The third one took him in the bicep while he was pulling a gun, or what he thought was pulling a gun, whatever. Okay, so he's not a mass murderer. And who cares if he's walking down the street with a fucking AR? If it's legal where he lives, who cares? Especially with riots and whatever going on. Hell yeah, I'm going to protect myself. If I have that ability, legally, whatever, I'm going to protect myself. And it's very obvious that he didn't just think he was going to be a hero and take daddy's gun and, walk into a crowded room, crowded street, whatever, and shoot people, because very obviously he's fighting for his life. Down on his back, somebody on top of him about to take his life, shoots him in the fucking forehead, takes somebody else point blank in the chest that's trying to kill him, and then takes the other one out, shoots him in the bicep instead of somewhere fatal, which he very easily could have done and had the same, end result, but didn't. Took him in the bicep. So, very obviously lots of training, because that's not, that could have been luck, but doubtful.
Yeah, no,
And
those
there
are
are
shots,
tragedies, don't get it wrong. He could very easily have just picked up the gun and had some instinct that was buried somewhere in his genes, and bam,
but
bam,
I
bam,
think
did what he had to do. Not very fucking likely.
To give you the whole picture, without my illustrious loving for his gun skill, I believe he illegally obtained the gun, according to what my argument with the coworker was, and I'm not sure because I don't believe the media, and it's going to be overblown for a while until we get the real story because that's how all things go in this way.
We're never going to get the
But
real
I
story
do,
because then they're going to jump on something else and
I
that's going to
think
disappear.
exactly like you know what I mean. Epstein killed himself, but I
He
think
did. He did.
he illegally obtained the gun.
Guys,
Yeah, I'm
guys,
sure he did.
Epstein killed himself.
Epstein? Who's
Yeah,
Epstein?
yeah. We all see that's what the media said. Oh, who's that? What was that? That manifest? Those people in it? That wasn't a thing. We don't. Nah. What was? Nah. Dude, a lot of planes, a lot of places. Some people say, Trump says he's got the best plane. We should go look at him. It's a
Of
better
course he's
topic.
got the best plane. He's got the fucking Air Force One. Okay, now, and the other...
Yeah, but I think he illegally
He
obtained the
has
gun, illegally
the
went there,
best-
and it was
he
illegal
has
for him
the
to have it in
best
the state he went to.
plane in the world, on the planet. Okay.
On the planet. Yep. But yeah, I think whole story. It was illegal for him to get the gun. Illegal for him to You're definitely illegal to drive multiple states with the gun, and then he was there, utterly illegal with the gun. So he's getting hit with the book like 100%. They might give him the minor blessing because he's 17, but I don't know. Most 17-year-olds are the big boys. They treat you like an adult at 17. You gotta watch out what you do. You end up in there with the big adults.
Well,
Not easy to defend yourself when you're 17 against 50-year-olds who've been in jail since they were 17.
well.
Look like King Kong. Like, you better kiss him on the bicep and say, I love you, Daddy, or you're going to have a real rough day.
well, and then the other half of this is what Dante touched on. This other situation with the guy freaking out because some kid in a car is screaming, I'm going to fucking kill you. All right. Kid in a car, maybe you saw a shotgun, maybe you didn't. A little unstable unloading the fucking car. But here's a thought. Where were we exactly, number one? And number two, first thing that popped into my head as soon as Dante said that was, if it had been me, I'd have been in my car with the fucking music pumping, listening to ICP going, I'ma fucking kill you. Some
my God.
unstable
Bro,
dirtbag
can we not talk about
hears that
ICP?
going by and bam,
Can we have
on
a Topher? I love you, man, and I love that you're trying to make a point. But I swear to God, if we have to talk about goddamn ICP on this fucking podcast,
We can totally talk about him.
I-
I don't listen to him.
bro,
It was a point. I was making a point
yeah, but
because
you
that's
know,
altogether
but
possible.
you put
Especially
ICP in there.
Somebody mentioned Detroit. They're from Detroit. You know, that whole crew, most of
Are
the
they really? They're
psychopathic
from
crew is
Detroit?
from Detroit. Southwest, Zug
I'm not
Island,
surprised the psychopaths
7
come
Mile. That's
from
where they're
Detroit,
from.
but-
All of them. Both guys from ICP, Twisted, Blazes from there. The list goes on. You know, it's most of their crew because they grew up together. You know, shit, that's where Eminem's from.
Yeah.
That's part of the
Um,
reason he and ICP have a beef, I'm sure, is because they got those kind of personalities and they're from the same area. You know, that
Eminem
whole
just
beef
doesn't
started
like
something
Fago,
about
dude.
a show that Eminem was trying to get ICP to show up for, and he was put the cart before the horse, started telling people about it, and Jay and Shaggy went, fuck you. No, you just wanted to do this for the hell of it, to make a name for yourself. I don't think so.
Aren't Juggalos
Which started
considered a
that.
terrorist organization by the government?
Juggalos
And
are
the
not
government-
a gang.
Yeah,
Those are not a
but
gang.
No, but
but
it's kinda,
isn't
it's
it?
kind
Doesn't
of
the
hilarious when
FBI
that went.
like consider
that's,
them a gang though?
I don't care if they
if
do
they
or
do,
not.
then they're not focused on the real criminals, and
Yeah,
that's
it's
awesome.
ridiculous.
No, I mean it's not. There's some fucked up people in it, but I think it's hilarious how much that snowballed.
Yeah.
Like, can we fuck around? Like, if right now we were like, yo, we know blackface ain't accepted.
No.
Like Justin Trudeau's got that corner of the market covered, and so we're completely good there. But we could tie pajama pants around our faces and cut holes out of them and spray paint our body weird. And just like 16 years from now, we're talking about how the government doesn't like them and they're like, like you said, terrorist organization. That's a snowball, bro. Like those people, when they first painted their faces, they wanted people to like it, but they never like. There's some people sitting at home right now drinking a beer, going, "Do you see what happens when you Google this now? It used to just be you, me, and Joey." Like, that's got to be funny.
Juggalos are not a gang. I mean, if you actually look up ICP and do some research,
I think they're big enough. You might be able to call them
good guys.
They're a cult
no,
for sure.
They have a cult following. They're not a cult. They do charity work and shit all the time.
Walks like it, talk it. Yes, so do criminals. That's how you stay under the radar.
It's all about
Geniuses
entertainment. That's all it is.
It's all about perception.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm all about entertainment too, and I know how to be perceived how I want.
Can we just...
Not that I'm putting it into work here. I don't care, but...
I just want to make sure this is happening on your end too. I'm running it like 7 frames per second. Right.
Oh, it's rough. Yeah, you're pretty rough. You're almost on like what looks like an audio drift now, just because of internet.
Yeah,
I
got
don't...
a lot of lag going.
It happened once or twice during the last ones too. Do you have a lot on your internet at your house?
I don't think it's the internet. I think it's logic. I think it's
It's slowing
me.
your
I think it's me
CPU down?
recording into Logic directly. Yeah.
Why don't you just use Audacity?
Yeah, I'll try it. I mean, I think...
I mean, it's got to be demanding less.
Yeah, I'm not...
My computer's making noise, but I mean, it's my computer's half asleep right now, and it's reading a good
I'm
code.
not really sure
A-OK,
why.
it says.
I mean, I guess Logic is... I'm not really sure.
It's a much bigger program.
It's a much bigger program, but I mean, I don't know why it would be... I guess the idea is, like, if I wanted to put, like, a reverb on my voice right now, like, while I'm recording, I could do that.
So, these are my great-grandmother's curtains. She made these, like, with her own 2 hands. Rest in peace. Love her to death. In front of me, on my wall, I put a blanket she had made with her own hands, too. And so that's homemade soundproofing, so I'm not refracting off my wall and coming backwards at this thing. As much, at least. And that was my purpose of this, too. There's a video of my cat coming up above this white wall, and she was so apparent because the wall was there, and it looked like she was walking on it.
I saw that. That was
just...
I made an effort not to point it out.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but I'm severe. So NVIDIA just released their, or maybe they released a while ago, I don't know, but I'm late to the game. They made their 30 series now, bro.
I don't think it's out yet. I think they just announced it, but
yeah, but you don't get prices until they're coming soon. We have prices.
We still don't have prices on the fucking PS5. It's September 13th,
yeah, and that's my
2020,
point, so.
when we're recording this, and we still don't know what the PS5 costs.
Yeah, no, you definitely have to record out of Logic, bro, for sure. Like, and not trying to swing digs here at you here, Chris, but you're running on the most jalopy POS out of the 3 of us, and you look as good as I do. Like, you are clear and ordained, and Chris is probably running 30
well, I'm
FPS
watching.
strong.
I watched it start to do this. It was the further.
I'm just saying you look good.
It didn't.
And I know his PC
It
costs
didn't
more than
start like this. I started out fine, but it
never does. Every episode you start out fine, but you've hit this point a few times, and I always thought it was internet. I just figured your siblings were like, oh, I'm gonna stream on my phone and my bedroom, so when I walk in between the rooms, I don't have a sound discrepancy.
I don't think so, because there's no like stuttering. It's a constant. I think what's happening is Logic is taking up most of my computer's resources, and so my computer is like, okay, well, take frames out of the camera.
As a default, like, when I was first learning how my GPU and CPU worked independently, I was always concerned that when running 2 things, my GPU didn't like 50-50, and it doesn't. Your GPU, I mean, there's advanced settings that you can choose for it, but primarily, like my 2070, it prioritizes one task, and the second task gets whatever it's not using on the first task. And so, like, I can be playing COD on one monitor and RuneScape on another. COD is getting almost all the fucking resources. RuneScape gets a very few. And I can't really change that.
wondering why. I think the only theory I have as to why Logic would be doing this is because, like I said earlier, if I wanted to just like right now live throw effects on my voice, I can do that. And I think that all of the audio that I've recorded up to this point for this episode is all there ready to be messed with, if that makes any sense. Like it's not just baking it into a file. I think it's just holding on to all the information. And
yeah, so Christopher, he's taking the entire magic turn of attack phase, main phase 2, and final phase, and putting them in one. So when he's done with this shit, he's just like, all right, let's
no. As soon as we're done, I just hit Command Save, and then that's it. Then I wait for you guys to send me the files, you guys' files. But I mean, we're not gonna be doing it like this anymore anyway. But it's interesting.
No, and I really wanna. I really wanted to find a simple way to do this shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not opposed to working really hard for this show. I love the show, and I just want to get our audio perfect for the people. You know, even a few of the people I was talking to as far as guests were like, you know, there's some background noise, and it was for me. And I think it was, I had like 3 different mics plugged into my computer, and I'm positive my settings had like the camera mic off,
how is
and
there
this mic
background
off,
noise?
and I
I
had
went
this
through
mic
that
on.
shit and cut it out.
So this, I think this mic was so good and this headset was so loud that this was picking up the sound of this in my headset. That's why I have this ear behind me right now, or at least
I'm looking at my VU meters right now, and that's happening with this.
Oh no, I think, you know, not to be the bearer of bad news. I think I actually realized at one point with Christopher while we were working together that you had that problem as well. I'm addressing it, but I think I meant to write it down and didn't. But yeah, no, that's totally a thing. It's totally
the headphone bleed.
Doing that too.
I mean,
yeah. It's only like 3%, so it's not the worst. But
that's the problem is,
you know,
whenever if you're talking in the audio file, I'm not touching it. You know, like I may like boost the high end, you know, in an EQ. But if you're actively saying something, I'm not going into Isotope RX and, you know, trying to take stuff out, because that's information that I just really can't get to. So what I'm doing is I'm going in, I'm finding places where you're not talking, taking a sample of the background noise, and then telling the AI in RX, hey, here's a 30-second or so snapshot of what their background noise sounds like. Any place you hear this, get rid of it. And so it'll do that.
No, and I'm with you on that, but I think maybe we could try moving where your mic is, so it's not 2 inches from your headphone ear. It's maybe 6. Like, you could keep it the same distance from your mouth, but just move it from 3 o'clock to 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or from the other side of you or something. Or like you have your right ear off you, or your left ear off you. So put it, like my headset's on my right ear's off. So it's, I don't know, it's got to be 2 feet from I don't know. We could try something, but I really want to perfect this audio. So editing maybe doesn't have to be a thing. If we can get crisp files where if you want to, you can go in and just do a light touch up, that'd be great. But I want to make this as simplistic as possible. Now that I have all this software, I was at work last night like, what do I want to do personally? I could start strapping together the 300 hours of elite gameplay I've saved over the last 10 years and start making crazy ass montages of me. Or I can start streaming and start editing and start doing overlays. Or, and I'm just like, I'm endlessly thinking about it, because now I have the recording software. I have the, well, yeah, but I'm not changing anything. Like, I've done all this before. I did it in middle school, and so I didn't take it this seriously in middle school. I just, Googled the quickest way to do this, and it was much more janky. That was back when JTAGs were a thing on Xbox. So like things were a lot simpler. Like, it was a flash drive away from being a hacker. Like, phew, days were different. But now I'm running this God PC, and my wonderful lady will send me pictures of like dope PCs and stuff, and I compare the stats, and I'm like, this is absolutely ridiculous. Like, this PC is
You're not allowed to look at things and laugh
that,
off
like,
screen.
oh no, she just woke up, and she put the hairless kitty in the room, and so she opens the door and puts her in the room, and then goes to push her and close the door, and she just turns around and looks at her and goes, huh? Like, what? You're gonna leave me here? Like, no, we treat these cats like kids because we have to teach our daughter how to be a polite person around strangers. Our cats are probably more loved than her, just because, like, we never scream at the cats for being, like a demon. Like, we give her one gift, and so, like, then we'll walk into a store, buy her a balloon, and we did that a few times because the reaction was awesome. An entire day of fun from a 97-cent balloon. Sounds great, right? No. Now every store we go into, she wants a balloon, and it's only 97 cents. But if she don't get one, she freaks out. And now we've made like a spoiled brat paradigm, because now even after one balloon, a minute after she has a balloon, she wants another one, and now she makes me swap them. So the entire time we walk around the store, #COVID, I'm giving my daughter new balloons to breathe all over, and then putting them back in the rack and grabbing new ones because she wants different ones. And so like around the whole store, if I have COVID, dude, I'm dropping this shit off like fucking Blu-rays in red boxes. Like, seriously,
What a
I'm all around the
fucking
store. Every time there's a
dude.
balloon rack on the top of an aisle.
Redbox, I cannot
Ugh.
believe that Redbox is still a business model.
Redbox not specifically, but ironically, Redbox is what keeps like Blockbuster out of stock. Like, the only people who have DVDs now are like the big enough stores that DVDs are a 56th of their profit per year, like Walmart, and then the other stores that have them
Well,
are
here's
pawn
the thing.
shops.
I mean,
like, every pawn shop you go to is just
I like buying Blu-rays of movies. Like, I don't like buying digital copies of anything, really, if I can get a physical copy. Same thing goes for video games and books. But I don't get the idea of renting a physical copy of something. Why? Like, if you... I guess I just don't really understand. Like, how small do you... How big do you think the
I've got
market
1,000.
is for people that have a Blu-ray player but don't have internet? How big is that market?
I think you're looking at it from the wrong aspect.
Yeah.
Blu-rays are like that. That's like saying like for Christopher here, why would Walmart sell like 45 players and like record players? Like, that's old school tech. People don't need that. You know what I mean? So, and it's a niche market now. Like, it's cool that you can buy what used to be the only software for pennies nowadays. And like, I'm a CD guy. If all the power goes out and I crank a generator, I can plug in a monitor and a DVD player and grab a DVD with no internet and crank a DVD. I go camping. I can buy a power bank with
Right,
my
but
laptop and
that's
just watch
not what I'm
DVDs
talking- I'm talking about-
retroactively.
I'm not talking about buying Blu-rays. I'm talking about going to a grocery store, putting in your credit card, putting in your email address, and then renting a Blu-ray, and then going to bring it back. What's the
not-
market?
Okay, that's a personal.
Well, I mean,
that's a personal thing.
it's-
the way you grew up, your generation, the way you look at things. You don't see that as being a viable option because you would rather own it, you would rather do this, you would rather do that, whatever. Well, what if you don't have a lot of money, you don't have a lot of space, you don't have a lot of whatever, and all you want, or you just really have no interest in owning the movie, but you want to see it, and you either didn't go to see it for whatever reason in the theater, or you didn't want to go to the theater to see it. It drops on DVD, it hits the red box, you go rent it, take it back. You don't have to worry about it again. You got to see the movie you wanted to see. You had to pay couple bucks for it, whatever. But it's better than you just paid $2 to watch his brand new release in the comfort of your home with whatever food, snacks, drinks you want, however many people you want to cram into your living room or den or whatever it is, for $2. As opposed to, let's go to the theater and spend 8, 10,
That's
12
not
bucks
even
for
what I'm
one
saying.
ticket,
I'm saying
or you go spend 15, 20,
No,
25
I love
bucks for the
Redbox.
DVD
I don't mean to
Blu-ray.
cut this short, but I gotta we gotta snap this shut because my second job is calling. I gotta go kiss her goodbye and leave. So I'm gonna say this is the end of episode 3. Hi, Estelle. That was a plug for my daughter. End of the episode.